If you need some additional light for your video productions and don't have room for a traditional 3-point lighting setup, a ring light might just fit the bill. Good lighting is an important part of producing a good video or conducting an effective webcast or other live stream event. The traditional way to accomplish this is to use a 2 or 3 light system with a key light, a fill light, and oftentimes some kind of backlight. This can take some time to set up and, depending on your style of shooting, might be a little overkill. One possible solution to this problem is to use a ring light, like the one we're going to be reviewing today from Pixel. With the explosion of LED lights and light panels, something like the ring light was inevitable. The ring light takes advantage of the small size and bright illumination of LEDs and mounts them in a circle. You can find ring lights in a variety of sizes, from ones that will mount around your camera's lens to big ones like this Pixel model with a 19-inch diameter. With these ring lights, you have a couple of options. You can mount your camera within the ring either using the included phone and tablet mounts, or use a separate tripod to mount a heavier camera such as a video camera or DSLR. This head-on light will provide a somewhat different lighting pattern from the traditional key and fill light, but is easier to set up. You can also use the ring light the same way you would a key and fill light combo. Obviously, you'd need 2 ring lights, but when compared to a traditional lights with either an umbrella, diffuser, or light box, they can take up much less room. As noted in the photos on the light's product page, you can also use the light without intending to video or photograph anything. In this case, it can be a nice makeup light, for example. What makes the light quite versatile is its adjustability. It has controls that allow you to vary the brightness and the color temperature to suit your need. There's no need to have various colored diffusers to get the right level of warm or cool light. You're even able to set several often used brightness and color combinations and assign them to memories in the light's control panel. This makes for easy setup and consistent lighting. You're also able to control the lights with the remote control, and if you have more than one ring light from Pixel, you can control them together to get the exact effect you're looking for. The remote also lets you control the brightness and color temperature. That way you can place yourself in the shot, make fine adjustments to control color balance and brightness without leaving the shot. Let's take a quick look at what's inside the box. Then we'll come back here and take a closer look at the controls and look at some sample video using the ring light for illumination. So those of you who follow my rcplaneviews.com channel know that we're in the workshop where I work on my model airplanes, because I need a little bit bigger room to review this particular light stand and light because they're a little bit bigger. So this is the box that it comes in. As you can see, one of the interesting things is that there's a warning on the outside of the box that the light stand is buried in the bottom so that you don't end up throwing the light stand away. So this is the outside box. Let's take a look at what's inside. Okay, so first thing coming out of the box is this nice nylon bag. It's got handles, it's got an over-the-shoulder strap to it, and just a little bit of padding to provide some protection for the light stand itself. Let's take a look and see what we've got first. The light. And then a box with some accessories in it. We'll take a look at that here in just a minute. So we'll take a look at the light first. We've got these panels that go on around it, and they just, as you can see, they snap in. So let's get these on. We've kind of rotated around a little bit during the shipping process. This bottom one covers the bottom. Okay, we'll get the next one on. this one underneath. And so that's pretty easy. And as you can see, it's a pretty good size light fixture, and all these, the fuser pieces just kind of snap in. They've got lips on the end that allow you to get them all together pretty easily. So with that done, let's move that aside and look at what's in the accessory box. So here's the accessory box. It comes with a form to show you some pictures to how to put together the light stand itself. Warranty card, chance to provide them some feedback. It's Pixel, it's the company that is branding these. You see other Pixel kinds of things out there. An instruction manual right here, and it gives the various specifications and controls, what the various buttons do down here, and it's both in English and in Chinese. There are a number of things wrapped in plastic, but this is a stand. It has a 1/4 by 20 socket on the bottom, so you can mount it at the bottom, and we'll look at that in a minute, of the light screen. This would hold a tablet, so if you were using your iPad as your camera or recording device, this would hold that in the middle of the light to give you light surrounding you as you looked at the camera there in the middle of the light stand. Here are a couple of adapters and a little screwdriver. This one is the 1/4 20 adapter to screw into the light stand itself and then mount the accessories. This one is similar, except it is a kind of a ball head, adjustable ball head for getting the angle right. So in this case, be able to mount your camera here and then adjust the angle of the camera as it's attached with a cold shoe mount here at the bottom, which would allow you to get just exactly the angle that you wanted to frame your shot the way you wanted. It is tightened by a screw, which I like better than those that are tightened by springs. This is a similar stand to the iPad or tablet stand. It has a 1/4 by 20 socket on the bottom, and then you can connect your smartphone, whether an iPhone or Galaxy or whatever. This has got a screw adjustable gap that you can get your phone in there, and then you can either use the phone in the landscape or you can use the phone in the portrait style, and then tighten it down and then mount it. And I'll show you this here in the light stand itself here in just a moment. Here is a little Bluetooth trigger. If you've bought any of these Chinese-made accessories, you probably have a drawer full of these little guys. This allows you to trip the shutter. The top button is for Apple or iOS, and the bottom button is for Android devices. This is a power supply for the light, and that's handy in that these are not battery operated. Batteries give you some flexibility, but then you got to buy a bunch of batteries. But depending on what you need, they can be a great opportunity for you to move this around outside as a fill light and what have you. For the way I use it, having a power supply is going to be a very good advantage. So there's the power supply. This is what a lot of the vendors call magic tape. It's just simply a Velcro tie that would allow you to perhaps tie the power supply to your tripod if you had an extension cord coming up one of the legs. And then this is just the 110 outlet for the power supply. And then last but not least, this comes with a remote control. Some of the earlier versions of the reviews that I watched said the remote control was on the way but not included. Well, it's included now. And so this allows you to control your lights from your shooting position. So if you are a solo content producer like I tend to be, this would allow you to cycle through the various things with your lights. We'll talk about those particular items in just a second, but know that you can control them here through this handy remote control that you can keep close by while you try to capture the shot that's just exactly perfect for what you need. So let's take a second and take a look at the mounting stand or the light stand that comes with this. So as I mentioned before, the box shows the light stand mounted in the bottom of the box. It was wedged in there pretty tight, so I got that out, and we'll take a look at the light stand. It's not the thing you'd want to throw away. It'll be pretty important to using this tool. We've got it wrapped in plastic. And so it's just your basic tripod style light stand. Now it looks like I'm going to put it up wrong. It's not. It's that it folds all the way over. And so as we open this up, we'll get it past that midpoint. And then we have the light stand that will be right here. You can tighten it with the screw right here. And then there are 3 sections of the light stand that expand. With the legs past the 90-degree point, then you can change the height of the light stand using the degree to which the legs are spread out. When you've got them where you want them, you just tighten it up with this screw right here. And then as you can see, there are 3 sections of light stand that are available to you to extend to vary the height of the light to meet your particular needs. So we've got the light set up here inside out of the workshop, and we're going to take a look at some of the controls that you can use to customize the light to meet your particular need. So let's take a look. It's really a fairly comprehensive set of adjustments that you can make. First, of course, is the screen. The screen lights up when you turn it on with the on-off switch right here. This is the external power supply, and one of the things I found really handy with this is that from the power brick, which I've got taped to the light stand, to the outlet, that cord is probably 3 or 4 meters long, which is kind of a surprise and a pleasant one at that. So it allows you to reach a wall outlet if you're at home, or take some of the length from a extension cord, or share an extension cord between 2 lights that have long cords that'll reach to it. So the main control is this button right here, and when you turn the button, you can change the intensity of the light. You may be able to see that. I've got the intensity pretty low so I don't blow things out in this room too much, but when you twist it, you can turn it down from 1% down and then add it all the way up to 100%. Now, related to that control is the quick light button, which is the second button here. And by pressing that button, you can cycle in and out of the 0, 25, 50, 75, and 100 settings. And so that makes for a real quick adjustment. Or if you need to move from 10% to 100, a couple tips of that, and then a quick twist of the knob, and you'll be ready to go. So the light illumination adjustments are very easy to do. The next control is in the middle of this button, and you press it, and you can see here that this number starts to flash. And when that changes, then you can twist the knob and you can change the color of the light. It goes from 3000 up to about 5800, and it's adjustable in 100 Kelvin increments. So if you're new to the lighting, thing to keep in mind that higher Kelvin or higher numbers means a cooler looking color. So high Kelvin numbers are going to be like daylight, and so they're going to have a blue tint to them, where low Kelvin numbers are going to have that warm feeling like you might get around a fire in a cabin. And so when I turn this around, we'll show you that in a little more detail. But that is all controlled right here with this button. Now, the other thing that we have here is a channel button, and you can change the channels, and there are 48 different channels, and those are just ways to avoid interference with other lights. Now, the other button that's down here that we need to talk about is the group button, GP. There are 5 groups, A through E, and you can set each group individually. So if you record in a particular place regularly, you can maybe lay that, put that into channel A. And in channel A, you might have a blue light up at 5,700 Kelvin. You'd have the illumination at 72. And then you can save it into that group. And so the next time you show up at that place and want that set of light, illumination, and temperature, you just select group A. Same for B through E. And so that makes it really easy to make quick changes when you change locations, or you can set them up for any 5 set of variables that you might find useful in the way you do your recording. So that's group, channel, quick change light, and then the last button is to allow the controller to work with the remote control. So this is the remote control. It has the little pixel branding here at the top, and it has basically the same buttons that you see on the controller. And so you can turn the remote control on and off here, not the light. You can change channels with the channel button. You can change groups with the group button. And you can do the quick change on the light intensity with the quick change light button. And then this little ring and dot are similar to the knob and dot that you have over here. So if I wanted to change the percentage of illumination, I could just rotate this disc and the illumination gets higher. And if I wanted to change the color of the light, I could press the button. And then you can see as I rotate that, the light temperature changes. Okay, so there's kind of a remote control button here. If it doesn't work exactly the way you expect it to, you may have to press that button to sync the remote to the light itself. Now, the other cool thing about the remote is that it'll control multiple lights if they're in the same group and on the same channel. So if you have several of these pixel kinds of lights, you can, and you're a solo producer, you can make changes to your lighting using a remote while you sit in front of the camera to gauge the impact of what it was that the lights have done. Well, that's pretty much the control. So let's turn this around and open the camera, zoom up a little bit, and get a chance to see what it looks like as the color changes and as the intensity changes. Okay, so now I've got the light facing you. Right here in the middle is the stand for a smartphone that comes in there, so you could put your smartphone in there either vertically or horizontally. It also comes with a ball type mount with a 1/4-20 screw at the top, so you could put a small DSLR, your mirrorless camera, Handycam, that kind of thing in there, and then have the camera shooting from the middle of the light. Now in this case, I've got the illumination really low because since it's pointed at the camera, it blows it out almost right away because it's so bright. And so I've got about 9% illumination so that you can both see me and see the light. So let's take a look at the color temperature and see how that changes here for the first little demo. Okay. So let's start with the color temperature now. I've got the color temperature at 5,800, which is the high temperature, so it's kind of blue, simulating outside sunlight. So let's bring that down. It's starting to come down now, just a couple of clicks at a time. It's starting to get softer, starting to turn a little bit more orange. And now I've got it down to 3,000. I'm not sure how much you're able to see that, but I'm kind of moving it around a little bit. You can see the impact to the camera though. I can see that the automatic light sensors in the camera are changing the light that's going through the electronics in the camera. So that may be the best that we're going to be able to do for this demonstration. Now I've got this set just partially up. It's at about 4 feet. I've got another 2 to 3 feet of extension. So if you had a high room, you could get it up there, put it on a down angle if that's what you wanted to do. So all in all, it's looking pretty good. Those are the controls. That's the variability. So let's go back for some final comments. In this closing section of the review, I'm using the Pixel ring light and my Sony Handycam. I've got the illumination at about 75% and the color temperature is at 5400. The earlier sections of the review were lit with my traditional light stands with translucent umbrella diffusers. So, as you saw, the Pixel ring light is easy to set up and the controls give you a lot of flexibility in dealing with your desired lighting. One of the interesting things you may not have noticed is the bright spot in my eye forms a ring instead of a single or double highlight as when using a key and fill light. That light in the subject's eye gives some life to the subject and the ring reflection is an interesting touch. The lights set up easily and I found the illumination controls were easy to adjust both at the light and with the remote. I would consider this an enthusiast level accessory. By that I mean that the construction is sturdy, but hard, everyday use might result in some damage to the ring's plastic structure. With care, I'd expect it to last a long time. I also like that it came with an AC power supply. Turning lights on and off to preserve battery life is a pain, and since most of my shooting where I need additional lighting is indoors, AC power is readily available. I've been wanting to retire my big umbrella lights and have been looking at some LED panels. Now I've complicated my choices with this large, bright ring light from Pixel. Hey, if you found the video helpful, please click on the thumbs up icon below the video and subscribe to the Gadget Talk channel. Click on the bell icon to be notified when I post new videos. Thanks for watching.